Hello guys, I hope you are doing great. Welcome to another video. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything you need to know about finding accommodation, getting accommodation in France. I actually listed all the different points I want to share with you, and I think I have up to like 6 different points that I want to share with you concerning accommodation. I am hoping to cover everything, like all the frequently asked questions when it comes to getting accommodation in France, because you need this when you're going to apply for your visa procedure. So please do watch to the end, okay? So by the way, my name is Nsongra. Really, I share content on applications to schools in France, life as international students in France. I do vlog and share the useful content. So if the kind of things that might interest you, please do kindly like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, that's your way of supporting me. Thank you very much. So getting back to the topic. So by the time you have gotten your admission, so what's next? You're going to start looking for where you want to live or where you're going to live when you come to France. So in your admission information, normally when they send you an email, in that email letter, they normally include things about your accommodation. I'm going to try to put, because I tried to check mine when I first got my admission, and I remember there was something about accommodation, the contact I should email if I'm interested in staying in the student accommodation. So please really check your admission information. Really check, there should be something about in contact information. Then secondly, you could always go to Trouver on logement. I need to put the link to this website in the description of the video so you can go and check it out. There on the website, you're going to see the different steps that you should take towards creating like your portal, your student, your account. It's like on mes services étudiants. So you're going to see everything towards creating your account and applying for accommodation. Sometimes they say you should add your wishes and so on and so forth. So you see the different processes there. I'm going to put it on the screen as well. And there's, because I was trying it yesterday, to really see, okay, what's the new procedure? Have they changed things? And just for you to know, normally it starts within this period. So I saw for now it's starting now, like this May. In some years it starts in like July and so on. So you see the procedures to follow there, and there are three different types of accommodation. You see one they write the studio, one they write the colocation, and then the other one is like en couple. So studio is like one room, like this where I am right now is called a studio. I have one room to myself, the kitchen is there, and then the restroom is there. So everything that you have to stay is inside that place, like inside that space for you, and it's only for you. That's a studio. And then a colocation means that you're going to have a room to yourself, but then you're going to share the common areas, like you're going to share kitchen with other persons, and then in some cases you might have to share the restroom. But mostly in CROUS, at least the typical ones, you have like the room to yourself and the restroom to yourself, and then the kitchen area you share. That's what they call in colocation. So there are different types of colocation. You just have to know the details on what exactly are you going to be sharing. And then there's another one on couple. Actually, I've not really like gotten to know much about the on couple one, how you do it, but I know that it's like two persons are together and then they want to live together, that kind of thing. So I don't really know how that is going to work for you when you're applying for your visa. So let's pay attention right now to what is going to work for us when we are applying for visa, so you won't put yourself in trouble. So that's another thing. And if in creating this thing, the DSC stuff, if you find it complicated, you're not really understanding it, because even for me, when I was trying to do it, it is not so straightforward. I tried the simulation and it's okay, I'm not eligible, I should just go on to apply, and I was still getting stuck somewhere. So I think for you can always like email the school, tell them about this, and then they can see what to do for you. So because I don't know if it's because for me my file is already registered there, they've seen I'm no longer a student and so on. So I don't know. So try to, if you encounter this issue, try to reach out to someone in your school to tell them about it, and hopefully you're able to sort it out. Because I remember when we were trying it for my friend last year, if I'm not wrong, or 2 years ago, it wasn't giving us any issues anyways. So the next thing you'll be needing when you are applying for your accommodation is what they call a guarantor. So normally in France, from the ages of 18 to 30 years, you have what they call visa that you can apply for, and visa serves as your guarantor. It's like the government standing in for you and saying guaranteeing you staying in that accommodation anyway. So it's very straightforward. I've created a video already on how to request for a visa. I've created that video already, so please, I'm going to put it the link as well in the description. Go and check that video. It's more of like a step-by-step procedure. I don't want to like waste your time in this video. Even the video on how to like create your accounts on CROUS and everything, the miss service, I've also made a video before on that. I'll put all in the description, so please go and check out that video, to save us time in this video, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so you have to look for your guarantor to apply for this visa. It doesn't take time. Just if you apply like today, let's say in the next 2 days, you should be able to get your visa. And if it's in the process of you applying for the visa, you see any information that they ask you for and you don't have, and it's not a mandatory field, just skip it. Like, because I saw some persons asking me something, okay, they ask for this code for something. I'm like, do you have the code? You don't have, and the field is not a mandatory field. So you don't have to worry and like get stuck. Just skip it if not a mandatory field and you don't have that information. Okay. So far as it doesn't stop you from sending your application, don't fear, don't panic. Okay. So that's another thing I wanted to make clear in that visa application. The other guarantors, guaranteeing organizations, for example, if you are more than 30 years and you can't apply for visa, they have like Grant Me. That's another association, another type of guaranteeing organization that you can always apply for. But that one is paid. The visa is actually free, but the Grant Me, I think there's a price tag to it. And sometimes in some accommodation you are going to, if it's outside CROUS, you're going to look at some other accommodations that are outside CROUS. So, but if your accommodation is outside CROUS, sometimes the organization or the accommodation, they have their own guarantor that they are subscribing to. So they'll not require you to submit, but you have to pay a fee for it. Like I said, you have to pay money for the guaranteeing. So just note, so that these are the different ways that you can sort out this issue. So the next topic I have here is actually concerning the housing insurance. So housing insurance is needed when you are entering a house in France. It's one of the documents that will be required for your administrative procedure in entering into accommodation or securing your destiny in France. So there are a lot of student insurance that you can use. For me, I used studyabroad. That's the one I used. I'm going to put the link as well in the description. This is not any advertisement or anything. I'm just sharing it with you because this is what I use and it worked for me, and maybe you could try it. So basically, one thing I think you should note, no matter the type of assurance, they're like studyabroad. I saw ADH assurance assurance étudiante. I saw étude assure, and even sometimes the accommodation they also have their own insurance depending. But one thing you should note when you are selecting these insurances is that select the option that comes with civil liability. I'm going to put it on the screen. You are going to see the option I'm referring to. Select that option. Why? Because when you are doing your school administrative procedure, or even sometimes when you get an internship letter, they will always ask you for an insurance for civil liabilities like life insurance, if I'm not wrong. So they'll always ask you for something like that. So please, when you are selecting your housing insurance, try to take the option that comes with this civil liability. You will need it. You will need it. So please take note of it. I think that's the most important thing I want to share with you in this insurance part. So that's it. Normally the range for the insurance is always within 20 to 30 euros. That's always the ranges for this insurance, depending on the size of your room, how many persons, the choices you are covering for, and all those things. So those are the things you should take into consideration. But it's a very straightforward procedure. You just have to start, create your account, like fill the fields that you are choosing, and then once you pay, they send you your confirmation that you have your insurance. So it's that straightforward. Okay, so the other thing I would like to tell you about is, for example, if you are finding it difficult to get either the CROUS accommodation or other private accommodations, please remember the other accommodations. We are going to look at it in the next in my next subtopic. So, but in case like it's close to your visa date or it's close to when you have your appointment, either with Campus France for those in the areas covered by them, because they're the ones that you meet before you go for your visa, like your main visa office. In case it's close to that time and you're looking for document to cover this part, you can always use what they call an accommodation certificate. Remember, it's not the same thing as the accommodation. It's just a document that assures or that gives some certain form of assurance that you have where to stay in France. So the accommodation certificate, where you can get it from, either you just search on Google accommodation certificates for students in France. You see options, or the ones I saw. I know studapart, they give like they have this accommodation certificate, or live in France, they also have this accommodation certificate. I'm going to also try to put their links there. I don't know how much you pay, but I think maybe it's also 100 euros. I'm not certain. But the document is going to contain your name. It will state the duration you are going to stay in France, like the duration that the accommodation will cover. Like maybe say during the period of 1 year, because it's always like a 1 year contract. And then it's going to state the address of the accommodation. So those three main things: your name, the duration, and the address. Those are the three main things that you see in the accommodation certificate, and it's going to be signed. It's going to be like stamped. They'll sign it and stamp it. So take note of these things when you are getting one for yourself. And apart from CROUS and some other private accommodations, there are other accommodations you could always explore. I'm going to put the names of these accommodations in the description. So even no matter where it is, like when you go on the website, you just search the city or the postal code of the area they are going to look for. So let's say your postal code is like 38,100, like 38,100. You just search that's like the area of Grenoble. So you just search there and you're going to find the different accommodations in that particular housing agency or housing organization. You see the different residencies there, their prices, the description: is it fully furnished or not fully furnished? Is it a studio? Is it a colocation? Is it one that you can stay with somebody, and so on? You find all the details there. I'm not going to like list all of them, but I'm going to put in the description. Another thing I want you to note is that if you are going for an accommodation outside of CROUS, please take note: if it's like a private, like other well organized housing agencies, housing organizations, of course, there's always a fee you pay. Even CROUS, there's a fee you pay. I think CROUS, you pay like 100 euros as the application fee, to get the accommodation or to validate your housing. Even in some other ones, you still pay some fees as well when you're applying for it. But if it's like someone's house that you have, that you find a accommodation, please be careful the way you send money so as to avoid scammers. You understand? Because everywhere in the world there are people that that are out there to cause bad or to do evil. So please be careful. When it's someone's house you want to go and stay, and they promise you a house and they say you send money, please be careful. Be one, if it's not a well organized organization that the name, like you have something to attribute to, and not just some random person at some random person's house. So please be careful. Instead, I think it's even better you get the accommodation certificate, and by the time you come here, you can stay like maybe for the first few days in an Airbnb, or like in a hostel. There are hostels that you can always stay very cheap, and then you can now try to find a house. At least then you're on ground, you can find the location of where the person is or where the housing is. So please beware. I've mentioned it in some of my room tours that I did, that when I was looking for room, I met persons, or I got messages from people that from houses I saw, and they asked me to send like 500 euros. I'm like, 500 euros, is what I be. So before I can even come to see the house. So please, be careful of scammers so you won't fall into one. Okay. So that brings us to the end of this video on accommodation. I hope I was able to cover everything you can think of about accommodation. Please watch this video to the end before you shoot your questions to me, please. And please try to watch those other videos I recommended. Like I said, I'll put in the description. It really gave you more details, or it really took time to go step by step in that one. And what else? I'm going to be doing more room tours. Go and watch my room tours as well to have more idea about some of the things you should be expecting when you enter a student accommodation in France. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do kindly give us a thumbs up, like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and see you in my next video. Bye.
I feel like I'm living luxury.